Hello friends, in today's video I'm spring cleaning my oldest son's room and giving it a much needed makeover. We have lived here almost a year and it's time to start decorating our bedrooms. I'm starting with his since he's still away at college. I scrub the walls and the carpets, I paint an accent wall, give him new bedding, some floating shelves, a coat rack, and a new gaming chair. I take it from a plain boring room to a very sleek modern room with lots of neutral grays and pops of black metal accents. So pop my video on your TV, tablet, or phone and clean along with me, or sit back and relax with your favorite drink and stockpile this cleaning and decorating motivation for future use. Hope you enjoy! Don't forget to like my video, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and click that bell notification for more inspiring motivational videos. Let's be friends on Instagram too. You can find me at Home with Elizabeth. All right, we are starting by cleaning out this room. I actually was storing all the things I've been buying for the two rooms here in the basement in here, and I've been storing my children's Easter basket goodies too. So that's why there's lots of boxes and plastic bags and all kinds of stuff like that. And yes, I'm getting too hot already, so off comes the sweatshirt. So we're just clearing all this stuff out so that we can start with the spring cleaning. And while I'm clearing this and starting to clean, I want to welcome you back to my channel. My name's Elizabeth if you're new around here. I'm a 51-year-old wife and stay-at-home mom to 7 adult/teenage children. I have 2 girls aged 26 and 23, 3 boys aged 20, 17, and 15. I'm also an auntie to 2 additional teenage boys, 16-year-old twins. They're my nephews that I got custody of a few years ago. On my channel, you're going to find lots of cleaning motivation, cleaning inspiration. You'll find a little bit of organization and decluttering and even a little bit of decorating. But what you're going to find lots and lots of is real life. I like to keep it very real here on my channel and share my perfectly imperfect life with you all. I strive to help others not feel so alone in this world and to help them realize that the best way to live their life is as their most perfectly imperfect self also. If this sounds like content you would enjoy watching, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I'd love to have you join my community. My battery for my new vacuum. You want a boom box? All right, I am using my Shark Rocket vacuum. It's corded. I've had it for about 10 years. I used it to dust all the bunnies out of the bed, and I'm using it on the carpet right here. And you saw me with a blow-up boombox that I think my son used at one point for Halloween. Just giving you guys a little bit of a dance party. So we are just vacuuming this floor. We're getting the corners of the ceiling and the wall. Just doing like a preliminary getting all the dust up because I want to start painting. And I've mentioned in several videos lately that you guys know that I can't stand to like walk on crumbs or like rocks, or there's some salt and stuff in this room. I don't like to feel grit on the bottom of my feet. Now, other than the rug in this room, it was not very dirty. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know that we just had this basement finished. It'll be a year in July. And actually my son's room, he's only lived in it for maybe 3 to 4 months out of these last year because, you know, he was in school, he was home. When we first got the house, he lived in it for the summer, and then he's just been home for like a Christmas break and a spring break. So his room is actually not too terribly dirty, other than the rug I said. And when we get to that rug, I will show you and explain to you why it was so dirty. So we are just using hot water and about a half a teaspoon of powdered Tide in my cedar mop bucket to get these walls washed. Now, that's not to say there's not marks on his walls already, because, hello, they are teenage kids. And whenever anybody has sleepovers here at the house, we also use this room. So there are marks on the wall and stuff like that, scuffs. But as for dust and dirt, it really wasn't too bad. I also loved that I cleared the whole room before I started washing walls and stuff like that. It made it so much easier, friends, than trying to work around furniture and other stuff in rooms. Like, I know it's not feasible to like empty my living room to wash the walls, but I was very happy to empty this room completely to get these walls washed and this rug washed. Now friends, you're going to see many outfit changes in this video, but it actually only took me 2 days to make this video. So there is the water from the walls. Like, it's barely even colored. It looks like it might be a little off-white. But as I was saying, it took me 2 full days to do this room. It was a Friday and a Saturday. And so this is Friday morning when I'm getting it cleaned. And I am getting these wall moldings on my wall. So here's the first thing I bought for his room. It is peel and stick wall molding from Amazon, and I will have all the links down below in the description. This came with 6 pieces, and not like, it actually came with like 24 pieces, but it makes like 6 pieces of molding art on the wall. Well, in our basement, our ceilings are just a little over 6 foot, so I could only use 3 of them, and I'm only going to be able to use 3 in my other son's room down here. So I actually have half of this set left. So I paid $55 for this molding set, and I only used half of it. So really, I only spent, even though I spent the whole $55, I have half of it I can use somewhere else in the house. So we only really used about $25, $26 or $7 worth in this room. Friends, these were so easy to use. Once I got this first one up, I did have it a little off. So the 4th piece, when I went to put it on, it was a little, it didn't quite meet at the bottom. But I learned when I moved to the second one how to do it perfectly, and all the other 2 are perfect. Now this is not renter friendly. When it stuck to the walls, like, it stuck. In fact, I tried to take the top piece off from this first set, and I couldn't get it off.
I found the little one, so I can get rid of the big one.
I also think the first one might have been a little crooked because I was using the giant level before I found this small one. But I did try and take the top piece off to level it up some, and I couldn't. It was not coming off the wall. And when I moved to the second one to do, at first when I was doing this, I was taking the stick off the whole way, and it kind of stuck a little bit to his wall when I didn't want it to. When I pulled it off, it pulled a little bit of the paint and drywall paper off. So friends, this is not renter friendly. But if you own your home, this is an amazing product to use. It stuck so well, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's going to stick there for years to come. Friends, I will also do a breakdown of what I bought and where I bought it from in the description box, but I did this makeover for my son's room for $250.24. So very reasonable. Now, no, I did not buy a new dresser. I did not buy a new desk. I did not buy a new bed. But if you're looking to give a room a nice refresh, or to actually start, like this was like the initial decoration, it can be done for less than $300. And I probably even could have shopped a little bit more and found some cheaper things to bring it down probably below 200, but I was very happy with what I spent. And so you're gonna watch right here when I go to stick this, that I peel the top and stick that. And then as you do that, you can pull that black backing off. I slowed it down here so you could see. And that's how you can keep it from moving, and so that it's completely level the whole time. So I'm using my right hand there to make sure it's level, and then I am pulling the black paper. You can see it kind of there in my right hand. I'm pulling it down to stick the rest of the molding piece.
That actually worked so much better. I gotta remember that.
So the two paints I was deciding on between for this room were they're both from Valspar. I picked them up at Lowe's. The bottom one is called Blue Twilight. It's what we already used in our basement. And the top one is called Gray Brook. It was actually the other one I was testing on my walls for out in the basement mudroom area. As much as I wanted to use the darker Gray Brook, or the darker Blue Twilight, I'm so glad I went with the top one, which is the Gray Brook. At the end, you'll see that it looks really nice with the rug and all of his like bedding and stuff like that. It's a very nice calming gray. And see how quick I'm doing this top one? Once I figured out how to do it, like stick it and pull it off at one time, like I went zoop, zoop, zoop through these other ones. All right, so as you see, I have a different shirt, but the same pants. So what I've done is I've gone up and I put on my tank top that already has paint stains on it. So this is outfit number 2 of the day. So as I said, this is Valspar Gray Brook, and I got it at Lowe's, and I paid $42 for a gallon. And I did not even use half a gallon. So again, even though I included the whole price in my makeover budget, like total, I still have a half a gallon of paint I can use somewhere else in the house. And of course, this was very slow painting because I painted around all the edges and around all the molding with a paintbrush, so it was very slow going with this first coat. In fact, it was so slow going that I had to do the second coat like at 9 o'clock at night, because this was a Friday, this was Good Friday that I was on this, and even though my kids didn't have school, my youngest still had a lacrosse game, so I had to stop and be at his lacrosse game at 6 o'clock. I also went with a different finish for this paint. So, and of course there's heavy editing with these paints because, like I said, it took me forever. But when I painted outside near the mudroom area, I bought semi-gloss paint. Well, I'm doing eggshell in these bedrooms because eggshell it's not as shiny, so it doesn't show imperfections as much. And of course, this is straight like drywall down here, and any little bump, like where a nail was put in and maybe it didn't get quite enough mud over it, you were going to be able to see it with the semi-gloss. I am so happy I went with the eggshell. In fact, when I get the paint for everyone else's rooms, I will also be going with the eggshell finish, even upstairs where the walls are like plaster. showing you that I'm putting my roller in a Walmart bag, and I covered my paint tray with a garbage bag. So then you don't have to like dump your paint back in your paint bucket, and you don't have to clean your brushes or anything. It keeps it wet and moist. So this is really why I had to also wait till I did that second coat. Is in my mind, when I thought I'm doing this, I'm like, Elizabeth, you're gonna paint one coat and then you're going to clean the rug, and then 4 hours later, like after the drying time, you can paint the wall again. I am using my Bissell Pro Pet. It's the $98 one from Walmart. I do 4 water pours. Here's the first one. Now friends, it's going to be filthy, but this rug, it's got to be at least 15 years old. It is from our living room when we first moved to the town that we live in now. This is the second water pour, and again, I did not film all the everything. Friends, this would have been like 6 hours long. But this rug has been through 3 houses. It was a living room rug at first, then it was a bedroom rug, our bedroom at our old house, and now it's in the bedroom downstairs for my oldest son, and I've never cleaned it before. So that is why this is so filthy. Again, I did it in 4 sections, and all 4 water pours are filthy. You just saw the first 2. And so we have the 3rd one coming up, and then the 4th one. That's almost chocolate milk consistency. It's really gross. In fact, if I would have had the time, I probably would have let it dry completely and then went over it again with my carpet cleaner, because it probably needed it. So once I was done cleaning the carpet, I brought our dehumidifier in here, and my son's fan that he usually has in his window, I brought it in and had them both going for the rest of the afternoon and the early evening while we were at the lacrosse game. Alright, so this is later that night after the lacrosse game. We are going to put the second coat on, and the second coat went so much easier. I don't know if it's because I was painting over that first coat, but like my edges were easier, and even doing the rolling was easier, and also seemed to go so much quicker. And friends, I also did not use any tape when I did this painting. The first couple swipes were a little rough. It's on the ceiling in the left-hand corner. I got quite a little bit on the ceiling, but after I kind of was like, Elizabeth, just quit being a spaz about it, I did pretty good, and there's not much paint on any of the baseboards or the ceiling anymore. How you can tell this is later in the evening is I showered before the lacrosse game, so you can see that I had to, like, my hair was down and I had to pull it in a ponytail so I didn't get it into the wet paint. I'll also let you know when we switch to the second day here after I'm done painting this, you're going to see a lot of my youngest son. He helped me a ton the second day. He helped me paint shelves. He helped me carry stuff in. When my husband goes to put the shelves and stuff up, he helped him a ton. He was a great little helper, and he's so excited to get his room started. This is the next morning. I'm just cleaning up everything I left there last night. I'd washed my paint tray and all that stuff, but I'd left like the can and the paper, like my tablecloth down. So we're getting the cover put back on, and I am giving this another good vacuum before we start bringing stuff back into the room. Now friends, you're gonna notice this is a different vacuum. It looks like my Dyson, but it's not. I bought a new vacuum. I'm gonna review it, but you're gonna actually see me use it several times before I review it. In Thursday's video, I'm going to show you unboxing it. I'm gonna give you some of the reasons why I went with this one, at least on paper wise. And then I'm going to use it for about 2 weeks, and then I'm going to do a review video on it because it's a very reasonable vacuum. And like, I was looking one for down here in my basement anyways, because you guys know we have so much of this fake hardwood flooring down here. It's a very reasonable vacuum, and I want to give you guys that option. Not everyone can afford a Dyson. Heck, I could afford a Dyson, and as much as I love it, I'm probably not going to buy another Dyson because they're so expensive, unless I find it on clearance like my first one. But yeah, that is a new vacuum, and I am going to be doing a review on it for you guys. All right, so we are getting these windows cleaned. Now, when they put this window in, they had some glue on their fingers, and it's been on the glass for a year. But I finally thought, I'm cleaning this room from top to bottom. I'm bringing my scraper down that I used on my stove, and I got it scraped up. It looks brand new. Of course, the outside needs cleaned, but I was not going outside to take those screens off.
It's like a graveyard for bugs down there. Oh my God.
And of course, I showed you my rag, how dusty and dirty these tracks were. And it's because you can see right there, his window is at ground level. So they were pretty dusty and dirty. See here? Well, and you saw the dead bugs. Now I do eventually want blinds for this window, but again, it just wasn't in the budget. I was trying to stay under a pretty reasonable budget for this initial decorating. When I get back to decorating, you're going to see that I just do shears in this window for right now, but I do eventually want blinds, but they're going to have to be special ordered because this is a special sized window. Same in my other son's room. It is a special sized window, so they'll have to be special ordered. So I'm actually, when I get to his room, I'm just doing shears also. All right, so now that I got the window clean, I'm finishing vacuuming this side of the room. This is his old bed. I eventually do want to get a queen, maybe a full size or queen size bed in this room, because once he's done with college, this will turn into a guest room. All right, so here is the bedding and stuff I bought. The mattress pad, the quilt, the sheets, they're all from Walmart. This tray is from Walmart. This plant is from Walmart. They'll all be listed in the description box. These are the shelves. I got those from Amazon. They were a little expensive too, but when you see them, they're so cute. The coat hook rack I got from Walmart. So like the sheets and the pillowcases were about $15. The mattress pad was about $10. The quilt is Better Homes and Garden. It's called the Emmitt quilt. It was $25. The tray was Better Homes and Garden, and it's cast iron, which I loved because, you know, my son is 20, he'll be 21 this year. He's not a little kid, so I was so happy to find it because it's very, I don't want to say masculine, but it is masculine, but it was a very nice decor piece for a young man. My little artificial plant, it was called a string pearl succulent. It was about $10. I don't show it till later, but I got a tension rod from Walmart. I already had the shears. I ordered them a year ago when we moved into the house. We just had extra ones that I used. I think I paid about $5 for the tension rod. And then I got him some metal desk organizers from the Dollar Tree to go on his dresser and his shelves. They were $1.25 each. And the floating shelves were from Amazon. They were about $33. All right, so here we are. We're trying to find some studs. I was actually going to try and put the shelves up myself, and I chickened out at the last minute. I did get everything marked out though, but it was a good thing because my son and I decided that we would paint these shelves because they're white and they were going on all his white walls. So we gave him a rough sanding, just to rough them up a bit so they can hold the paint. And we're using the same color that we painted his walls, the Valspar gray Brook. Now we didn't do a perfect job on them. I actually have since bought a small roller that's foam that when we go to do my youngest son's room and the other bedrooms, we can use that. But they have some texture, and I mean, they don't look terrible, but they don't look perfect. So as you can see, this is later in that day. I got dressed to leave the house, and here we're putting up the shears, and my husband's gonna come in and we're gonna get these shelves hung. So as I said, the rod was about $4. I had already bought the shears. Now my husband and son are putting up the coat hook, and we're gonna put one of the shelves above it so he can throw his keys up there, his wallet, his phone when he walks in his room. And then the other two shelves are gonna go over above his dresser so that he can put, again, whatever he wants on it. Enough to like keep his dresser clean. Like I said, I bought him some little desk organization metal things from Dollar Tree. He can throw his change in there. Yeah, I think it turned out really cute. The only other two things I ended up buying, it was this day, I'd gone out later. He needed a bedside table. He had one, but it was very rickety. And I saw that Dollar Tree had these plant tables. They're the perfect height for the bed. It was $5, and an adorable metal like solar light that was $5 too. All right, we're coming to the end. We have about 3 minutes. I am just vacuuming up all the drywall dust from putting the shelves up, and I am starting to decorate. So see here, those little containers, they're just desk containers from the, you know, like the school supply aisle. And I think they look perfect on the shelf. And then I'm gonna put the table in, and then I'm going to give you a tour of the room. So see, there's that table. Like I said, it was a plant stand. It was $5, and there's the little solar light. And now what's nice about the solar light is it does have an on and off switch. So he can leave it on or turn it off. All right, and here is his new room. While you enjoy this tour, I want to thank you for being here. If you could do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up. If you feel so inclined to leave me a comment, I would love it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, why the heck not? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then that bell notification so you never miss another one of my videos. I release every Monday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I would love to have you join my community. Until next video, friends, have a great day. Bye. And I forgot to mention, I bought him, that's the beanbag chair I bought him, the new gaming chair. It's called Big Joe. It's from Walmart and it was about $40.